So I came up with this guitar riff. Hi guys, and welcome to another Tony Talks. And today I'm going to talk about how I write songs, how I approach songwriting, and what I think about, and what gets me going, and stuff like that, and the whole procedure. So I thought about that. I'm going to go through Kill a Clock and make like a backtracking how I made that song. Yeah, it could be interesting. I don't have one formula for how I write songs. In many ways, I don't think I'm a typical guitar player that writes songs, because when I write songs, I always look for the whole picture. It's not just a good riff. That's never the case. I'm always thinking about the terms of a whole song, a whole verse, a whole chorus, or whatever. So I always think of the songwriting in terms of the whole picture. So if I write like a chorus riff, it's not about that chorus riff only. It's about how the drums apply to that, the bass, the vocal lines. So when I write a song, I never just write riffs. I have idea from the very beginning when I write something, what I want with it. Is it a breakdown? Is it a chorus, intro? Of course that can change over time. I can maybe have written a intro riff that later becomes a chorus riff or a bridge, or yeah. So of course that can change. I can break down the different kind of ways that I go about to write a song. The first one is one of the most common way I think that I write, get inspired to write a song is often when I'm not at home and I can't play. It could be when I'm out walking with the dogs, or sitting in a car at work or whatever. And it could be something like I just tap something on my legs, because I'm a old drummer, so I still have that kind of I'm thinking in the way of drums and percussion. So I can maybe like yeah, we can take Kill a Clock for instance. That intro riff is like da 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 da. So that was a thing that I got in my head when I was walking one of the dogs, I believe. I started to have this rhythm idea for an intro. And at that point I haven't written any riff in the keyboards, anything. I just heard in my head that something like that would be cool to start a song like that. And that was all I had for that song. And that song got a working title, Promenad-låten, the walking song, before it became Kill a Clock. So that was how that song began. I started there and continued. So that's one way that I write songs. I often hear drums in my head and among the other voices. I hear drums and vocal lines and stuff like that. So I always look at the music as a piece of song, not just one instrument. I'm not that kind of guitar player that wants to, yeah, my guitar should be the coolest and most awesome guitar in in the song. For me, it's always about the song itself as a whole, and the vocals are so important. Much more than my guitars. Of course, I'm very picky with my guitar sound and how I play, but the guitar should serve the song. And like I said in The Darkest Black, when I did that playthrough, I can play some technical stuff now and again, but then I have a point with it. I have a purpose with it. It's not just because. I'm so okay to play easy if it fits the song. Like the song Fuck You, I challenged myself to write a simple song And it's not so easy as you might think. It's easy to play, sure. It's the most easy song that I ever written. But to come up with an easy song that, at least I think, is a good song, it's not so easy. I want to play something that serves the song. I don't want to be the highlight. Of course, I want to have some cool riffs here and there, and some solos now and again. That's fun, of course, but it's not about that. It's about the song. Another part can be that I have a riff from another song. So let's say that I have a song that I have started on, and I want to try to write a chorus riff. I come up with something cool, with some drums and maybe keyboards, but something tells me that it doesn't fit this song. What I can do then is to take that chorus riff and put it in a completely new song. And that has happened many times. So that's one part. Another part, how I can come up with something. Another part can be just to listening to music and get inspired. That like, hell, I want to do something like that. I want to, do something in those lines, or this is something cool riff, cool idea. Like I said before, when I wrote The Darkest Black, that was very inspired by Metallica's Hardwired when it came out. Not that it is similar in any way, but that energy from that song, when I heard it, was fast and aggressive, and then I felt I want to make a fast song. And then, Darkest Black came about. I rarely come up with vocals before any music. It can happen sometimes that I have some vocal ideas, more like not so much maybe melody, but more the percussive element, like hey, 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 or like hey, 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 hey. I know it sounds silly, but I can hear something like that in my head when I'm out walking or something, and I think, a guitar to that and some drums, that can be pretty cool. And sometimes, of course, it can be that I sit with my guitar and just play around. But I am that kind of guitar player that doesn't really play guitar just for playing guitar's sake. I see the guitar as a tool to make songs. I remember Dave Mustaine of Megadeth said something that reminded of how I work with the guitar. He says that he rarely ever practice guitar. He only picks up the guitar when he wants to write something, because sometimes he's afraid of pick up the guitar because he knows he's going to write something. He maybe hasn't got the time at that point, wherever. And the same for me. When I pick up the guitar, very often something comes out of it. So I rarely play guitar at home just for fun. I'm more of it's a tool for me to make music and make good riffs. And of course I like to play those riffs, but I rarely play covers and just sit around and noodling. I use the guitar to make songs. So when I've written the riff, I put away the guitar and start doing maybe keyboards or vocals or whatever. So like I said, when I write something, I write maybe a verse with the guitar. I have always the vocals in mind. And for me it's quite easy nowadays to make vocals, because I know Åsa, I know what she is capable of. I know what her strength, and she doesn't really have any weaknesses, but I know what her range is in vocals and what can sound good. So when I write the vocals, I always hear her in my head. So when I write a song, I often sing in like a demo version of the vocals, and those vocals should never be released to the public because they sound so bad. And for some reason, very often when I gonna sing in those demo vocals, I have a cold. I don't know why. So I have a stuffed nose and thing like this. But that doesn't matter. It's just so that Åsa can learn the vocal melodies. And that are almost always the base of the vocals. vocal melodies, and then also makes her own touch to the vocals when it's time, and she can come up with some new vocal melodies and some own nuances, and she often corrects my my lyric writing, because sometimes I can be so caught up in the lyric writing that I maybe misspell something and whatever. So we work together very well in the songwriting department. She knows what I'm thinking nowadays when I write music, and I know how she sings. So I'm gonna start up a project here with Killer Clock, and I'm gonna go through it and explain some of my ideas and my process when I made the song. Okay, let's see you there. I have started Logic Pro X here. That's my DAW. I have opened up the project with the song Killer Clock. I have rearranged some stuff, so I have deleted all the guitars and most of the keyboards, so I can show you how I would approach writing a song like Killer Clock, for instance. This song started with that I had a drum beat in my head like that. This one. So how would I go about to start with that thing? That could be, I could approach this from some different angles. It could be that I try to play something, but I think I did something like that I have, I started with the drums that I came up with. So I have here my drums, all here. Here's my snare, kick, hi-hat and whatnot, and I start to program the drums. And in the beginning I always program the drums very basic, and also the guitars when I record them I don't play so tight, and it's just to get the kind of idea down. And as you can see up here, I have always labeled up here intro, verse, chorus, pre-chorus and stuff like that, and I can change it like that, back and forth. It's just so much easier for me to navigate the song. So this is kind of a template that I use for every song. Yeah, so I go to the drums first for this song. So I go, yeah, it's going to start with those drums I told you about. Then create a MIDI region, and then I start here maybe, and then I pull it out a bit here. And I go here and I like and then I have to have a tempo. So I fool around quite a bit with some tempo, with some, but I don't settle for the tempo right away. I take something that sounds kind of, yeah, that feels right, like so I thought something like that. Yeah, okay, so I can like make some basic stuff here. I have some toms here. So maybe 1, 2, 3, 4. So it's gonna be 4 of those. Like I say, I program very basic in the beginning, like, and then maybe I want yeah, then I want a kick in the end with a choke cymbal maybe, so like. And then I want that to repeat. So like that. And I copy and paste this. So it's gonna be like, oh, was too fast there, so it's a bit later. It's like, so it's 2 in, yeah, 1, 2. 1, 2. This is right now? I think so. So that is the basic idea for the intro that I had. So then I go up to my guitar. I have a preferred guitar track here that I always use. Not always use. I can show you the gear in another video. But then I like, okay. So that maybe too long there. So I remember sitting like this, something like this. Then I remember I came up with the kind of main riff here, this one. Since it's gonna be two different guitars here, then I make two different guitars from the beginning. So I changed guitar here, so there I know that I gonna have a guitar that follows the drums. So then I record those. So that's basically what I have done. Let's see what it sounds like. So the song continues with the same riff but with a beat, and I knew that from the beginning. The way I think when I connect two parts in a song, it's always the drums that makes me feel the right decision to do, because two riffs can sound sometimes strange together, but if the drums are well put together, then they are like a bridge between two parts. And for me here, I knew that I wanted to sound like some cymbals, so gonna make it easy, just copy paste the kick. So it's gonna be there something, right? And there, and some cymbals to those. Then I want a straight industrial kind of beat. So that was the... So I just copy paste. If we have like... And then I... Another cymbal. Then I programs some hi-hat. And like I said, those drums I'm doing right now are very basic. It's just to get the kind of feel for the song. I cut this part and maybe cut that as well. Take away that and just copy paste for now, just to get the feel for the song. It's very basic. I'm gonna make a much better later. Sometimes I even can go in here. Let's see, this is the mixer, and go in easy drummer that I use. Here you have some pre-made by real drummers, like you can choose something. So I usually, when I make the real drums later on, I usually take something that resembles closely what I'm after. So I get like the hi-hats and stuff like that, more real, more live. And then I program those drums so they suit the song that I want to. Because you can't find a drum beat here that is exactly what you're looking for. But you can have some kind of feel So I basically take one of those files and can just drag and drop them in the project. I can just show you. Like I just take something now. I take, let's see this. Yeah, take that. So I can just drag and drop it here. So it can be. So now it's in the song here, the green part. Let's say I want to use that. Sometimes I want something like that, but I feel hey, it's too many kicks. You see the kicks here. I maybe don't want so many. I maybe want the kind of, you know, the kind of industrial feeling, like that. And then you take away the other ones. Let's see if I make it right, and take away that one. Yeah, and so forth. And then you do it so it suits the song. Too many snares as well. This is just by example drums here now, so. Oh, you can see that one. Be gone. Yeah, you get the point. I'm not going to use this one now. It's very time consuming to make drums, but and it takes a lot longer now when I'm explaining everything. But I've made those basic drums here. This is here. Very basic. And then I continue with guitars here. And like I said, I can't remember fully, but something told me that the verse should start there. And I remember with the intro, now it goes in the same key from the intro. And I remember it would be kind of cool to make it a little bit different, so it's when the drums come in a solid beat, that something changes. So came up with the idea to make it one step higher over here. It's the same riff like this, but it's one step up, so it goes in D instead of C. So I came up with this idea. So I mute the second guitar and take the first guitar again, and I re-record it. And then I, of course, have to record the other guitar as well. So that's the beginning of the song. Like I said before, when I'm in the writing process, I don't play particularly tight. I don't worry about that. I just want to get the idea down as fast as I can. So right now I have that idea that I had in my head when I was out walking with the dog. This di-di-di-di. And sometimes I end it there for the night. I can't get any further, and sometimes I continue till the song is ready. But then I knew that I wanted kind of a verse riff, and I didn't really know if it's gonna be bass drum only or guitars. But I knew that I wanted something over this riff. So I came up with this guitar riff. So what I do then, and I knew right away that this is going to be keyboard, because I don't play those kind of melodies on the guitar live, because I play the heavy stuff and the melodies are often keyboards. So what I would do then is to record this guitar over the other parts here. So now I feel if this is gonna work. Listen. At this stage, I have to have a imagination, because it's a guitar that plays the melody now, but I have to imagine, okay, how would it sound with keyboard? When I have decided that I'm going to use this melody, what I do then is take a piano, and then I do the big work of programming this. And why I always use a piano is because it's kind of it's very clean, so you can hear the right notes. And and this part is very time consuming. I take note by note on the guitar, and then I program it. It's no secret at all. So I knew it goes like this. So I knew it's... I know that's one C. So start with a brighter C. So it did, and then a darker C. So it's... Oh, sorry, wrong note. So it's do 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 do. So. And then I just go through different sounds that I want to try. And I just go about and try something. Yeah, let's see. And if I feel that I got something, I can try to maybe customize it a bit. And so it often is with music that some things that sounds bad on their own can sound good in a mix. So I rarely use just one keyboard like here. I'm gonna just take this keyboard here just to make a point. Then I copy this one and I put it beneath. So it plays the same notes, but I'm gonna change another keyboard. So Yeah, something like that. And then I can maybe come up with another melody. I copy everything and I go up to the next one there, and maybe randomize some velocities. It's basically how hard it plays, so it sounds more real. Yeah, and I do this. I don't want to do it now, but and then again I'll try something different. I maybe want arpeggio bells, maybe calming bells, maybe, I don't know, and I'll put it together. Yeah, you get the idea. So that's the intro of the song. And I remember, and then I'm gonna mute this guitar because I have already used that line, so I don't have it, I don't need it to be audible in the mix. So I mute that one, but I still have it in case something goes wrong. So this is the keyboard that ended up in the final song. And then I used the same melody again, but I changed the keyboard to another kind of feel in the verse, when the verse starts. So I, like you see here, I have duplicated. I have 4 different keyboards. One that sounds like this. And the last one like this. So it became something like this. And I remember feeling that it shouldn't be any real guitars in the verse, but I want some chugging at least. And I do the same on the second guitar, but I had a harmony there, but I can't remember how it went, sorry. Ah, forgot the harmony. And then it feels kind of empty. I knew it had to have bass, so I can just change to bass real quick. And I played very basic now because I didn't really know how to play, if I should play with the guitar. So I played right like that right now. But I knew in the verse that I wanted to follow the keyboard. So that guitar part I showed you before. That became keyboard. I knew I wanted that to be bass. So now listen back to it. Now we have a decent part of the song. And it all depends on what happens next. Sometimes I just leave a song like this for a while, and sometimes I come up with the chorus right away. If I come up with the chorus and I have comes this far, I almost completes the song quite early, because if I have like a good feel for the song, what it's supposed to be like, because I always have a vision in my head from the beginning. It doesn't always end up being like I thought it would be, but I almost every time have a vision of the song, how it would sound like, if it's going to be some breakdown or heavy or fast or whatever. And if I have gotten this far as I have shown you today, and maybe writing a chorus on the top of that, I have, I think, the basics of the song, like 80% done quite fast. So I'm going to show you the parts that are ready now. So this is how it could look like when I'm getting more ready with the song. Here you have the two main guitars. And those are edited and ready. I'm gonna redo them for the album actually. And then I had a different sound on melody kind of things. I was planning to do it over with this guitar sound, but I stuck to the helix sound. So those sound here. And on the bass I have two basses. One very distorted and one more clean. And then I blend them to my ability. Then I have the main drums here. And extra drums, it says there, is because I have two different drum kits that I blend together. One with more toms and snare. You can see here in my mixer I have them all here. And this is what its drum sounds like on its own. Yeah, like I say, when I start a song, I record it becomes sloppy because I don't want to lose the idea that I have, so I record it real quick. And I do it like I show you here, and I program some drums, basic drums, everything very basic in the beginning, so to see that I can have a feeling for the song. Does it work? Can it be something bigger? And more and more when time goes by and I work with the song, I refine stuff. I maybe refine the guitars to add some notes or rhythms or whatever, and find more keyboard parts and bass lines. It's quite fun to write bass lines actually for Slashy Sue, because it's we have a lot of parts where the bass and drums and keyboards are along with the vocals, and I really like that dynamic. So yeah, that's one way that I write songs, and I most often write music at night. I'm a very night person, so I'm very creative at the night. So after the dogs have gone to bed, and then is my prime time to make music. And as soon as I'm quite done with this, with kind of music here, I start to make some real vocals. Like I said before, I always have vocals in mind when I write bass lines and guitars and drums. I hear some kind of early versions of the vocals in my head. From the beginning. It's not like I have to force something in. If I can't get any vocals on the guitars, I change the guitars, because the vocals are more important than the guitars, in my opinion. So if the chord is wrong, and it doesn't sound good with Åsa's voice, I can change it. So when I start writing lyrics for this song, I take just a mic, this mic or another mic, and I'd like if I don't have any lyrics, I can like la 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 something like that. I record something like that so I can remember that I had a particular rhythm in mind or melody, and maybe na 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 stuff like that. If I have lyrics, I sing them as well, and then I maybe print out the song with my bad vocals on them, so also can listen to it and learn the song, and then we go from there. Then we don't do any changes to the vocals until Åsa sings it. And it has happened quite a few times that she sings in the vocals, and it doesn't sound like I thought in my head when I heard it. So I ended up making another chorus, or maybe put growls where it used to be distorted vocals, or stuff in that nature. So this is a little insight in my songwriting world. It's hard to just narrow it down. It's so much that happens that I don't really think about myself. I just do it. And I'm that kind of guy that likes to write music alone. I'm not particularly good at to write music with others. I have in Zephyra, I was the main songwriter, but Tobias wrote some songs there as well, and he's a great songwriter. I prefer to make my own songs. I'm not saying that I'm it's not because I think that I'm better than anyone else, but I work best alone, I think. With the vocals, I do encourage also to come up with ideas, and she do sometimes. And with Slashy Sue, I would say that she has so far have done more with the vocals than she ever did in Zephyra. I think she's more comfortable with coming up with her own things now. But mainly it's me that behind the music and the main lyrics, even though also has some great ideas, because she have a great vision of Slashy Sue that I don't really grasp yet. But so she points me in the right direction. So the music is my domain, and she is the everything else, basically. Well, I have sit here long enough, I feel, so I'm gonna see if I can make a video out of this and post it on the right day. And I hope you enjoy this one. So, cheers to you guys, and have a nice day, evening, morning, wherever you are and whatever you're doing. Hugs and kisses. And horns up. From dusk to dawn, but you know you'll never walk away.